Hi, my name is Reggie Cobb. I teach biology at Nash Community College. Fortunately, this semester, I have the opportunity to teach all of my classes online. Today, I would like to share some AVID strategies for teaching my online students. The two strategies that I would like to share with you today are the entrance ticket and Jigsaw. The way that I use the entrance ticket is a discussion forum that I provide to my students at the beginning of the week. This will introduce them to new concepts as well as connect the content to their everyday lives. I also use the Jigsaw method to help my students break down a very complex topic into smaller parts. Therefore, I assign students, individuals, or groups of individuals to research a part of the topic, and then we share our ideas to learn the entire topic together. The entrance tickets that I use in my class, I call them weekly discussions. The first question I usually ask is, do you have any questions or concerns regarding the course? The second question is, what have you learned related to the course this week? And then the third question in my environmental biology class that I ask is an environmental dilemma related to something that students may come in contact with, or something that might be interesting to them in their everyday lives, and sometimes possibly another question. This is what my course looks like in Moodle that shows the weekly discussion at the beginning of the week, along with other assignments. What this allows is for the students to go ahead and start thinking about the topic that we're going to discuss at the beginning of the week. Here's an example from my environmental biology class. As you can see, I ask them, do they have a problem or concern? And what I like about this is that it allows the students to be able to see each other's comments when they post their message. Everyone can see there, so that if they have the same questions, when I respond and answer their questions, they can see the answers as well. And then, what have you learned this week? I like for students to see what each other are learning. A lot of times they learn different things throughout the week depending on what topic that they're discussing. And then sometimes I ask a few things about the content, and then for number 4, you can see the environmental dilemma is an example of something related to them or related to humans and the environment. And so they get to answer the question. There's no right or wrong answer, and they get to discuss this with one another after they post their message. They can discuss why they put those answers and things like that. So I like to use this method to help students engage in the content in an easy format. These are not correct or incorrect answers. They can answer whatever they want to help them get into the topic. The second method that I would like to share with you today is the Jigsaw. And here's an overview of how I use Jigsaw in my class. First of all, my students are provided the information regarding the project. The students will sign up using what we call a Google Spreadsheet. And then this is when they can either sign up for an individual topic depending on what we're talking about, or they have to work in groups. Usually I assign them 2 people per group so that there's not too many stragglers, and make sure everybody has a job to do and they are have enough content to review or research. And then once they find out who their partner is and they sign up for their partner, then they provide a plan of action. This plan of action tells me who is going to do what in the project, and if somebody doesn't do their work, then the other person is not held accountable. And then to be able to begin sharing their presentation with one another, what I encourage them to do is use Google Presentation, where one person shares the presentation and they can both work on it. And then once they've worked on their projects and they've collected all their research and they're going to submit their presentation, I have them submit it using the Google discussion forum once again to submit their project. So let's see how this looks in more detail. As you can see from this picture here, you can see the Google Spreadsheet where students sign up either as group member number 1 or group member number 2, and they also explain when they're going to be available to work on this project so they can help one another out knowing when they're going to work on it. Now the advantage of using this sign up sheet like this is that it's one place for everyone to sign up. I don't assign the groups. I like for students to work on this together, and this is a joint effort as a class. And with it being online, it's a little bit different. Sometimes students get a little confused and things like that, but for the most part, this has worked out really great. Now, this can be for on-campus, online students, or even my my hybrid or my virtual students as well. I can have all of them work on the same presentation together because it's one link that I provide to all the students. This is an easy format. You can customize it in any way, any topic that you want to have them work in groups. You can use this. Now, the one disadvantage of this is that students can delete one another's names out, so you have to be careful of that. Of course, I can see the history, and I can change that if I need to. The second part of the Jigsaw is the plan of action. My plan of action that I want students to tell me is who is going to be doing what. I use the discussion forum in Moodle for this, so that students it is a permanent record for students to say, I'm going to do this part of the presentation, and then my partner is going to do this, or the partner puts in their posts their information as well. I'll let them decide who wants to post it, or if they want to both post it. But what it does is it lets me know who's going to be responsible for what part of the assignment, and if it doesn't get done, then only the person who doesn't do it does not get the credit. So, a lot of times students are afraid of group projects because, one person does all the work and everybody gets the credit, or, somebody just doesn't do their part. Well, you can't do that with my assignments because they have to have a plan of action. The third step in the Jigsaw is actually creating a presentation. And if you haven't ever used Google Docs before, it's really simple. All you have to do is press that blue button at the top that says share, and you can share it. Just provide the email address of your person you're working with, and they can work on the document at the same time. They can work on it at different times. You can leave comments for them, say, hey, maybe you need to do this, or you can praise them, leave a comment saying, hey, that's really great. Another feature that you can do is if you're both online at the same time, you can click on the person, the link would be up here at the top. You can click on that person's name. You can actually chat. If you're online at the same time, you can talk with one another while you're working on the presentation. I could be working on slide 1 and you can be working on slide 7, and you can be working on the same presentation at the same time if you want, or at different times. So this is a really great way for students to work together. And another cool thing is that it saves it automatically. So you don't have to worry about losing your document, and it's always there on any device that you want to work on it. So you can work at school, or you can work at home, on any computer. And if something happens to your computer, you can always jump on another computer and use it. And the final step in the Jigsaw is, of course, bringing it all together. And to do that, students will submit their presentation, and then everyone will look at each other's presentations, and they will also share comments, and they'll talk about what we've just talked about, and I'll post comments as well, so that we can bring it all together and learn about the topic at hand. And students have in the past, when I've asked them about these presentations, they say at first I'm kind of iffy on working in groups and working on a project where I'm only working on one part, but they really like the idea of being able to research it and coming up with new ideas that beyond the textbook, and they grab those ideas from the internet and from these different sources, and they provide it in their presentations so they can learn more about a topic than they normally would if they just used the textbook. So this is what it looks like in Moodle. It's just 4 basic links. One is the sign-up sheet. The second one is the plan of action. The third, I usually provide a video that shows them how to use Google Docs if they haven't ever used Google Docs. And then the fourth is to submit their presentation. So even though I made it a little more in detail in the presentation, it's really this simple. It's a 4-step process for the students to be able to work on a topic individually, and then bring it together and share their information so they can learn more about a complex topic. The 2 AVID strategies that I often use in my classes are the entrance ticket and the entrance ticket and the Jigsaw. If you have any questions about the information that I shared in this video, please email to the address below. Thank you for allowing me to share this information with you.